It is almost March, the snow is melting, the daffodils are poking out of the ground, and I am ready for some spring reading. Hello friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Haley and I am a Christian wife, homeschooling mother of 3, out to redeem my very own literary education. And that means reading all of the great classics that I've never read or that was never read to me as a child. I was part of the public school system and had a really basic literary education, nothing phenomenal. I did love to read, but I missed so many childhood classics. So in order to redeem that, I am participating in my very first ever Middle Grade March, which means the entire month of March is dedicated to focusing on middle grade books. And I'm really excited about this. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing not only my Middle Grade March TBR, but also some updates on other reading I've been doing, as well as focusing on my female author of the year this March, which is Lucy Maud Montgomery, who just so happens to fit very nicely into Middle Grade March. But also some other spring classics I plan on reading as well. So let's dive right in. The first book I'm going to read for Middle Grade March is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And this is the Middle Grade March read-along book. So this is the book that they have chosen for everybody to join in and read along with. Now, I have started this book once before last year actually and didn't finish it. So this year is my motivation to do so for several reasons. One, it's the Middle Grade March read-along book. 2, I am reading this aloud with my 6-year-old daughter because we homeschool, we have more time to read these great books and make sure that her literary education never has to be redeemed when it was older, because hopefully I'm making it really magical now within her childhood. So I'm really excited to read this along with her because she loves being outside, she loves nature and gardening. I think she's going to love this. And this book has some really beautiful illustrations in it as well that are full page, full color, and I think it's going to make it that much better for her. But also, I am doing a buddy read of The Secret Garden with Kelly from Bookish Kelly, who is a new booktube channel that you should absolutely check out. She's also a homeschool mom and a friend I've made on this online community, and I'm really excited to discuss The Secret Garden with her as we read it along together. And if I can find the Secret Garden Devotional written by Rachel Dodge, I'm going to try to snag that before starting The Secret Garden. And this may also be something I do along with my daughter. But I own the Anne of Green Gables devotional written by her, and it's just lovely. The illustrations are beautiful. The spiritual depth is really nice and sweet. I think it'll be great to do along with my daughter if I can find that in time before we start the book. So the Middle Grade March prompts, there are 5 of them, and I'm cheating slightly, but not really cheating, because the hosts of Middle Grade March said that they are not the prompt police, and I am glad. So I have one book here that fits into 4 of the prompt categories. This is Emily of New Moon, written by Lucy Maud Montgomery, who just so happens to be my female author of the year, meaning I am taking 2025 to really focus heavily on all of her works. And this book fits just perfectly in Middle Grade March because of the prompts. So one of the prompts is to find a book with flowers on the cover. Check. Another prompt is to find a book written by an author with 3 names. Lucy Maud Montgomery. Check. Another prompt is to find a book written in the 1900s. Check. And the other prompt is to find a book that is a part of this series. And the Emily of New Moon book is actually a part of the Emily trilogy. So Emily of New Moon, Emily Climbs, and Emily's Quest. And I know nothing about Emily of New Moon, and I'm gonna keep it that way. I love going into books blind. I love Ellen Montgomery. I'm working through the Anne of Green Gables series right now, and I'm currently on the 6th book, Anne of Ingleside, and I love her writing. So I know I'm going to love meeting a new Lucy Maud Montgomery character in Emily. So I'm going into this one blind completely on purpose. But the very last middle grade March prompt that Emily of New Moon doesn't cover, which maybe it does, but since I know nothing about it, who knows, is find a book that involves travel. I'm cheating a little bit, I think, maybe not, but I am choosing Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I've had this book on my shelf for over 10 years and I've never read it, which is embarrassing. But now I'm finally going to, and this is going to be my travel book because I am traveling into Wonderland with Alice. And I'm going to read this one also with my daughter right after The Secret Garden. The chapters in here are actually shorter than the Secret Garden chapters, so I think she's really going to be able to focus on this one well. And I think she's just going to love it. I think I'm going to love it too. This one technically also has flowers on the cover and is a beautiful spring palette. So I think it's a perfect read for middle grade March specifically. So that's all the books that I have for middle grade March. Those cover all of the prompts. I may also be doing the other middle grade March read along, which is called Moongarden, which is a modern day sci-fi retelling of The Secret Garden. Now, I don't own this book. I'm kind of on a book buying ban, and I've already spent my budget for the month on some of these other reads, but it is available on audiobook on my Hoopla app, so I may listen to that one. We'll see. I'm not really a sci-fi fan, but I'm willing to give it a try and see if I like it, especially after reading The Secret Garden. I'll be interested in comparing and seeing where I see that influence in that book. But the last book that I have on my March TBR, apart from the books that I want to finish up in March that I've already started in February, and I'm really excited about this one, and it is a classic, and it is called Elizabeth and Her German Garden, which is a memoir written by Elizabeth von Arnim, who is the author of The Enchanted April. I read The Enchanted April last year in April. I absolutely loved it. It became one of my favorite books of all time. I'm rereading it this April, but I wanted to read something else by Elizabeth von Arnim after that. This is the perfect spring read. This is another book that just looks beautiful, screams gardening and spring and even art, but it's also very short. This particular edition is 95 pages, which isn't that much, but this is Elizabeth von Arnim's kind of memoir. So she was married to sort of a strict German aristocrat, and she was aristocrat. Elizabeth von Arnim was married to a strict German aristocrat, and she also was a mother of young children, and she sort of found some struggle in that season of life. But she's found some purpose and beauty in her garden, and really dove into her garden and put a lot of effort and attention into it, and I think it was really restorative for her. So I think this is going to be inspiring as far as my gardening goes this year. We are doing a garden. We're planting vegetables and flowers, and I think this is going to make me so excited to just tend to that and love on it well and let God bless creation and be a part of that process. So I'm really excited for this one. I have a few books that I'm wrapping up that I started in February. I read The Hobbit, and I already did a video on that, reviewing it. I absolutely loved that book. I'm still working my way through The Inferno by Dante Alighieri very slowly, but I think this is going to be the month that I finish it up. I'm reading about one canto a day, and I only do that about 3 or 4 times a week if I'm being honest. But this has been worth the time and effort, but it's also been tough. So I'll be excited to discuss this one with y'all. My sort of background classic that I'm also slowly working my way through is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. And honestly, it's very likely that I may stop everything just to finish reading this book, because every time I pick it up, I can't put it down. My goal is to read like 5 chapters a day, and they're very, very short. But I always wind up reading more because I love it, and I can't wait to finish this one and discuss it. My current Lucy Maud Montgomery read, as I've already mentioned, is Anne of Ingleside. This is the 6th book in the Anne of Green Gables series. Anne is now a wife and a mother. She's in the same season of life that I'm in right now, and I'm finding this so inspiring. Anne still has such a way of seeing the world around her beautifully, and she still kept some of her imagination even in her adulthood, and that is just the kind of person I want to be. So I'll be really excited to discuss this one in March with you all as well in a book review. And I'm also done with my spiritual/devotional read, which is Tea Time Discipleship by Sally Clarkson. This is such a beautiful book just to look at, but also to read. These have been really inspiring devotions to kind of help me cultivate better friendships and stop being so afraid to invite people over to my house for tea or coffee or just fellowship. So I'll be excited to discuss this one as well. But that is all I have for you all for March. I'm really excited about the reads I've got. Please let me know in the comments below if you are participating in Middle Grade March, what spring classic books you recommend, what you're reading, just all the things. Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Happy reading, friends, and happy Middle Grade March.